Hello and welcome to Pikes Peak International Raceway. It's the USARC AutoNation Cup Series here for round 11 of 21 of the season. We are now passing the halfway point of the season and just 5 races to go until the chase. It's really heating up and it's still anyone's game to make the chase. It's Ricky Freeman Jr. on the pole today, a surprise pole position. We all expected Lexi Herman to be up here, to be honest with you, but she rolls off in 14th. Peter Onjak, last year's winner in the APS, he rolls off on the edge of the top 10. So an interesting qualifying for sure. You can see some slightly smaller teams up front as well. And hopefully that signals that we're going to have a really interesting race here.
I think it will be interesting as well because after yesterday's qualifying run, there was a surprise as the driver at the top of the pylon, Benedict Murdo, failed inspection. The car did not meet its weight, and he dropped from first to 42nd. So it's a long road ahead for the Aldi machine. Still had a strong year, still leading the points, 15 over Luna Bennington in second. They start in the top 10 themselves in the 4, but for Murdo, track like this, if it's anything like GTS, it's going to be very hard for them to have the time to get up through the rest of this field and make moves happen, because if this race doesn't stay clean, then you can only gain little by little. And that's something we've seen a lot recently here in the AutoNation Cup Series. That's kind of unfortunate, but I think today, I know I'm hoping for a calm one.
Yeah, I think, having a clean race on your day is going to be very important. But at the same time, we saw in the GTS race, it was anything but clean. We had a lot of incidents, a lot of contact. But that I think it also showed just how raceable this track is. There's a lot of different lanes that you can work here at Pikes Peak. So it'll be interesting to see if Murdo can maybe use some of those higher lines to get through the pack here today.
We've got an extra 25 laps compared to the 50 of GTS races, 75 round here, which won't be particularly long compared to some ANCS races this season, but it will still be very much long enough to see some strategical elements come into this race, and hopefully it's a bit cleaner. Hopefully we see some longer green flag runs, and hopefully we see a decent amount of finishes as well, because that's something that the AutoNation Cup Series has had a problem with in the recent races, just cars getting all torn up. I believe we had 22 finishes at Chicagoland, just off the top of my head. So that needs to be improved upon. I think everyone can agree with that. This is the top series of USARC. That shouldn't be happening. Hopefully, these drivers have learned their lesson and we get a much cleaner race today.
Well, for about 8 of the drivers in the field today, they are going to be giving it their all, especially because the cutoff line for the championship is tight. I know we're still a couple races out, but from Ricky Freeman Jr., your pole sitter, 7th in points, down to Luke Evans, 13th in points, 12 points separate those drivers. You have 2 Onge Auto cars, 3 Daytona Motorsports cars, Justin Whitmer, who is now sitting on a wild card currently, expected him to be a major championship contender in this, has not had the season he wants. Starting mid-pack today, that's not going to help his case any, but it's going to be elbows out for those drivers especially. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on as we get through 75 laps today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we haven't really seen that many people be able to actually space themselves out and away from that bubble. Really, the only people I can think of are, Bannock Murdo, Luna Bankton, the TGR cars, and that's kind of been about it this year, to be honest with you. Of the people who've really been able to get away, maybe throw in Bobak Fox, but it's so tight at that cutoff line, and it's been so tight the entire way down here. And we still have 5 more races, as you said, for people to maybe separate themselves. But if we've seen anything from this season, I don't know how much people will actually be able to separate themselves. There's just so much ebb and flow every single week of who has speed and who doesn't. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. Admittedly, surviving next week at Daytona might be a big factor in it. But, it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, on that point of how it's been hard for the guys to spread out in terms of points, we've had 7 different winners from. Well, sorry, no. 6 different winners, sorry, from the first 10 races of the season. And I say it doesn't really, you don't get the sense almost that Murdo's your points leader, especially. He's not done too much to kind of invigorate that sense that he is points leader. Bennington's been somewhat inconsistent as well. There's no one who's been consistent enough so that you recognise them as someone who's at the front. It's really unpredictable race in, race out. So, given that it's so close on the bubble, 5 races to go, we have Daytona next as well. I think it's going to stay very unpredictable all the way down to the wire. But without further ado, I believe we are ready for the command to get engines fired here at Pikes Peak. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back to Pikes Peak. We are moments away from the command to start engines.
Drivers, start your engines.
And as 42 USARC AutoNation Cup Series stock cars roar to life, we'll go through your top 10. It's Ricky Freeman Jr. handed the pole through Murdo failing inspection, and it's Murdo's teammate Cameron Brennan to his outside on row 2. Clockman 1, Bobak Fox, yet to win a race in his USARC career, rolling off in 4th. Then it's Toyota teammates Brian Grigsby and Luna Bennington on row 3, and then 7th and 8th, Evgeny Aglafayev and Nicholas Santiago, and then Peter Onjak and the 55 of Zachary DeLillo rounding off your top 10.
Very interesting one here today at Pikes Peak. 75 laps, 42 drivers, a lot on the line to chase us 5 races away. As we are racing here at Pikes Peak, green flag is underway. Brennan sends it in there pretty hard. I think he got loose though in doing that.
One's going to clear into 2nd. They're going to be 3 wide behind. Onjak looking down the inside of the 77. That's going to force DeLello up the track. Herman trying to split the middle on a very early charge. And that's going to work out for her.
53.
3 wide just in front as well. This is for 8th.
Look at this, the battle for 2nd. I don't think anybody expected to see this today. Clockman 1 versus Brian Grigsby, 62 versus 26. Going at it, absolutely. These 2 smaller teams, as some of USARC's best lurk right behind.
In a very strong start for Ricky Freeman Jr. Already a 2nd pulled out. I just wonder if maybe Clockman 1, Brian Grigsby, if they've not got the pace to track down that 41, if they're going to kind of act like the cork in the bottle for the rest of the field. The likes of Onjak, Santiago, Bennington as well, Lexi Herman.
Someone has a problem back there. I think that was the 9.
Oh, it's Finn Guy.
Held up a couple cars as well, but the 9's going to bring it down onto pit road. I think we are green still.
We are, yes.
Yes, we
Yes, we are. That's big because that's Steven Colon. That's a possible chaser this season. Now shoved to the back of the field.
And Blair McKenzie and the 11 Roach Rotfield.
I wonder what the service is going to be on pit road for Jeffrey Finguy. The luckless Jeffrey Finguy can't seem to catch a break this season. That streak continues.
Ooh, boy. Almost contact there between the 08 of this burrito and the 53 of Herman. Herman trying to split the middle like she did on lap 1. This burrito having none of that, though.
Boy, that was incredible how the 08 sailed it through the bottom of turn 1. I can't believe the car stuck with as much speed to carry it in.
Yeah, and they're still free wide right here because here comes the 77 of Ekmafayev. Here comes Daniel Boyles into the picture.
Well, that 53 is all over the place.
Yeah.
I think that might be a little desperation behind the wheel. Mired in the points, needs to get a 2nd win to even put themselves in the wild card race. But toward the front of the field, Freeman's pulled away almost to a 1-second lead. And honestly, the 2 slower cars are not the cork in the bottle. It's Cameron Brennan of all people.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, Hoffman's 1 right now, and Brian Grigsby doing a really nice job. In fact, Grigsby might be going for 2nd.
They've closed on the 41 there, mind you, but Grigsby's going to dive it into turn 1. He checks up ever so slightly, and I believe that's going to ensure that second place remains in the hands of the 62 for now. Yeah, and they're getting very feisty behind. Here comes Bobak Fox.
Oh, Fox tried it,
Big
couldn't
moves.
get there.
Fox couldn't get there. There were some big moves even further behind. I wasn't sure if that was the 53 or the 15 making that move. It might have been the 15, honestly, of Anthony Greenman back there just outside the top 10, as now Onjak is going to dispatch the 44 of Bobak Fox and look to pull a crossover on the 1 of Cameron Brennan. Is there enough momentum into turn 3? The 14 looking, no.
I feel like it's really hard to get the car to just stick down in the free and dive it in there because of the way the corner shape. You have just such an advantage being on that outside. You can just arc it in there a lot harder than you can in turn 1, I feel like.
Especially with there not being a ton of banking here at Pikes Peak.
Yeah, that was the 07 of Santiago made that pretty impressive dive bomb move. On Jack, his bank kind of looked really low, but ends up thinking better of it.
Up front, very clean at the moment. These guys still fighting out for second. RFJ starting to gap them now by a second and a half. Very comfortable early stages for last week's winner.
I think Brigsby might actually have a better pace here than the 62 if he can just find a way around.
Quite possibly.
Luckman 1's putting on an excellent defensive showing there for second, though. Really, a top 3 for either of these cars would feel like a win for those teams.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, these are two young teams, and they're having really nice, solid runs here.
And now Brennan's starting to check out from the rest of the pack in fourth. And Onjak with a late move on the 07. Can he make it work?
Oh.
I don't think the 14 has the handle under the car, as you see him wash up nearly in the side of Santiago there. The winner at the other race here this season in the state of Colorado, Nicholas Santiago, putting together another top 5 run today, as Herman and Onjak, the Pikes Peak combatants for many years now, go at each other, but that's just all the way, even outside the top 5.
He has the bout for 6th, I believe, here. As Herman had a look, Onjak shuts that run down.
Look at that gap. Wow.
Away, yeah.
This is very impressive stuff from, as Finn goes back out, but very impressive stuff from last week's winner, who after his win early on in the season at Darlington, really struggled to get any good runs going, but it looks like he's finally finding his feet now, and it's at the most vital time in the run into the chase. A third win will almost for sure lock him in, at least in the wild card position.
I mean, this is what that team's been doing though the past few weeks. I believe if they can do it today, it'd be their 4th straight top 10. So, you know, they've been running really good about really since Charlotte, and that's getting hot at the right time is a scary thing. But at the same time, can they keep this up all the way through the chase? You know, do you want to get hot right now, or do you want to get hot when the chase starts? Is the real question.
Well, I think it's good to be in the chase, so then you have the opportunity. If you have a good run, at least it's worth something, worth a championship possibly. So, yeah, I think it pays off to be on the ball now rather than, you know, possibly waiting too late. So we're going to go pre-wide here for a brief moment. Daniel Voiles down the inside of Zachary DeLello. That's for 11th.
I've been eyeing Voiles a bunch today because obviously we have the star underdogs of the show are definitely Clockman 1 and Brian Crusoe right now, but Voiles, other than Road America, I believe, he's really been a clip or two off the 07 and the 08, his teammates there at TGR. So it's a very solid day on a pure speed racetrack for that 70.
Yeah, I think it's a run that Boyles really needs to have, though. It's been a pretty bad season for him. Currently, I believe 23rd in points or so. So, you know, obviously well off his teammates, which are 3rd and 4th, I believe. But yeah, this is a good showing. I mean, showing that he has the pace to run near his teammates on a non-road course.
Onjak has caught up Grigsby and Bachman 1. This has been a few laps coming now.
play it smart. There's still plenty of time in this run to make a possible move happen. Obviously, I don't think the 14 will be able to claw right through the gap that RFJ has built. As speaking of clawing, you see there on the ticker, Benedict Murdo still buried far down the field, along with his teammate Luke Evans, 28th and 30th respectively. Is Cologne actually? Nice to see that. As actually, now that I see it, Daytona Motorsports, all three of their drivers fighting for championship spots. This is not how you get into the chase, folks. All three of their cars are barely... No, all three of their cars are not even in the top 30 right now. This is a disaster. The part-time Don Faulkner is the best Daytona Motorsports car now.
Yeah, Faulkner's actually having a pretty decent day, I believe.
He's near the top 10. Wow.
Yeah,
that is
a really nice run.
That is a statement run. So Riley Spurley, the only current Daytona Motorsports driver signed for next season. Sorry, Cologne is already signed for season 4. Spurley signed a 2-year extension with the team, and this is his first outing since then, and it's not exactly going well. Don Falcon, the rumours swirling. He looks like someone who could go to. That was interesting.
There had to have been contact there. Just missed our camera lens, but there had to have been contact.
This is very feisty.
Getting desperate back here.
This is about for, I believe, 15th on track. So, team driver, Miguel's been so consistent all year, but he hasn't had the raw pace. Newman's had the raw pace at times, but he's been so inconsistent. But Freeman's going to get that spot there from Miguel. It's up to Ian Smith. He was one of the fastest cars in practice. He's up to 13. He is Tom Boyles in a hurry.
We know what he can do at these sort of tracks.
Cars. I don't think the Morris Motorsports cars had the overall one-lap pace. That they were first and third in the practice charts, Martins and Smith respectively. But qualifying mid-pack, about where you'd expect them. But now, seeing this 89 claw through the field, they may have the speed. But do want to take a look at the front of the field, because seeing on timing and scoring, Onjek has gotten by one in Grigsby and is slowly chipping away. He's actually put a second into Freeman's lead gap. I know pit stops are coming, but honestly, Onjek, if he keeps clicking off these lap times and can save his tires, could run down his teammate in the 41.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Onjek, it didn't take him too long to get by the two of them either. So let's see if the gap comes down this time by, was 1.49.
Hold even.
Stayed the same.
Yeah. That's a battle. I believe that was Lexi Herman trying to get by.
Oh, and she was shown up the track by Cameron Brennan.
And there goes Santiago. Might get by them both.
Lexi has to be so frustrated behind the wheel of that car. Arguably the best driver here at Pikes overall, but wired mid-pack, did not get the qualifying lap in, and now trying to deal with these drivers fighting for points, fighting for positions. They know they're going to put their car in front of that 53 because they know what she can do here. It just has to be maddening. She has to keep her patience, and ideally aim to really gain some time on pit road, because the top two are pretty checked out.
Yeah, she needs...
Like for Herman.
Sorry, go ahead.
You go. I feel like for Herman, though, I feel like Herman's one of those people that you really don't want to see in the chase. Because, yes, Herman is still a pretty decent distance inside the top 20, but it's not an unmanageable amount. I believe it's somewhere around like 30 points. So it'll be interesting here to see if Herman can get her way in, but I think a second win's going to be required for Herman to make the chase here.
I think what she needs is a clean track, which she currently doesn't have. And she probably won't have until we get some pit stops here and she can find a strategy which works for her. Maybe it's not about undercutting or overcutting, but just about having a clean track to running, because we know what she can do when she's given that opportunity. Yeah, and she's immediately checking out from Santiago and is moving on to Brian Grigsby. As Onjak has closed that gap ever so slightly, and I think he might be starting to get wary that one of his main competitors at short tracks, Lexi Herman, is starting to close up.
Yeah, I think that's interesting here, and for sure. As not sure how has Murdo made any more progress with something I've just realized here?
He has.
Up to
Wow,
17,
he
I was
just
about
jumped 10 spots in only a couple laps. Gets up here into the crowded section of the racetrack, and he is picking off cars left and right. That is probably the 18 as well, so that will put him to 16th. That car had raw pace in qualifying, and now, as a legal car, it has it again. There's a good pit stop. He could easily find himself in the top 10.
I was going to say we could see a change in the regular season points lead for the first time in a while, but with Murdo's charge here today, that's feeling a lot less likely as Bankton only runs an 8th at the moment here. Here comes Lexi Herman for 4th.
Not going to be able to do it that time round. Brian Grigsby and Clockman 1 really running some brilliant races between them here at the moment, and they're holding their own.
And I think that's especially big, though, for Briggs, because that could get that 26 into the top 30 in points.
Aiden Smith tries to get to the top 10 in the race here. He's another one of the comers so far, along with Jack, Herman, and Murdo. As Bobak Fox continues to go the wrong way.
Oh, just read out a look.
Long Falconer still with a strong run, and there's Murdo behind, so I expect him to start reading them in. Looking through the field, we've got an issue in the back. And it's Murdo.
It's Shirley, I believe. No, it's the
not Murdo, sorry. Wyatt Wilkinson. Don't know why I said Murdo. Apologies. It's Wyatt Wilkinson in the 64 for the next 8 races or so. And that's not a yellow. But there is an issue, and there was contact as well. And I think it was with Spurley.
Yeah, I think Spurley might have ran the back of him. And that's a shame for Wilkinson. Obviously got involved in a tango last week at Chicagoland, and now this today. It's been really not the best showings for Wilkinson in this equipment. As well,
those look like the only damage. Yeah, the only damage on the 8, I think, is a paint scrape. But here we go for the lead.
You're going to have a look on his teammate. That was close. But I think he thought better of it when he realised who he was up against. It's his own teammate here. Got to be careful.
Yeah, the last thing Jack wants to do is to take out Ricky Herman Jr. here, especially when you have both cars running so well right now.
Because what we've seen as well so many times this season at so many different tracks is these two running 1-2. They're just both so good at running up front consistently together, as Wyatt Wilkinson's already out of the pit. So I wonder if that was potentially an early stop on strategy, maybe trying to do something different to the rest of the field, try and gain some positions that way.
I don't know if it was on strategy due to just the way. Oh, that was late. For the lead, Freeman Jr.'s not giving up though.
Or around the outside, he's wrapped that corner really well, and Onjak's going to pit now.
Onjak's hitting.
That's a good move. If you can't clear, try and get him on the undercut. Grigsby will follow in. Not too many other takers. DeLello, that's a late call. Don't even think he had his hand out the window to jump onto the access road. That's how you enter the pits here at Pikes Peak. Buckman 1 in as well, but that is a very good move.
Though. I thought caution though.
Oh,
no, it's not. It's still green.
That's all right. We need to fire the scoreboard operator then, because that's odd. But will the undercut work? Will the overcut work?
Where's the pace car? Oh, it's there. No,
it's there.
It's there.
This is interesting though, that they're pitting here on lap 36. They're going to have to pit again. If you can get to lap 38, 39, you might be able to do it just on one run.
It's going to be really tight.
If anybody can run long enough, they may win this race.
Yeah, I think
everyone's taking everyone's taking 4 tires, and here comes RFJ.
Crazy at a slow stop. He's falling behind the 55.
Yeah, this is definitely a track where you're going to want 4 tires. And after a full 30+ lap run, you're gonna be begging on the radio for 4 good ones.
So the question is then though, can these guys get to the end? It's gonna be a really tight stretch, and
there's the undercut.
By a long shot, actually. I think it's gonna be close.
This burrito's going to come out in. Oh no, he's not pit. They've not pitted yet. But they now will.
This is interesting because it is lap 38 for this burrito and the 00, which is
Bush
a
has stayed out.
SSR car.
And that
That's
Bush is on pit
who
road.
is that this week?
Pick up Bush, and he's stayed out a long
Oh,
time.
Bush. Those are going to be the two
Sorry.
drivers that I'm going to be the most interested in watching here because
He's ahead of Bennington on track.
No, Bennington pit, I think, before.
He must have done.
I believe it's just the 08, the 00 on cycle.
Yeah.
I think so if you pit on lap 37, it's going to be really tight. But yeah, Bennington, there's Bennington coming back out.
Yeah, there's Bennington
Break
blending.
the-
DeLello had a good stop as well on the undercut, now jumping ahead of the 07. And DeLello really needs that. I think once the run settles in a bit, he can highlight some drivers. But yeah, this burrito's going to lose out a bunch here in the short term. But in the long term, they can make the fuel work. They may have this race win in the bag because Ajak for sure will be all guns blazing to try and put as much time in just to get that splash at the very end. And that's interesting as well, as I continue to run on, sorry, but Vargas is now a lap down.
His car looks like it's having some handling issues there. It was really wide out of turn 4, and he's losing a ton of time to Peter Onjak. It just
There you
doesn't
see
look...
another car close getting a lap down. That's the 5 of Blair McKenzie.
Yeah, very interesting here. Spurley as well, Rimmel, Martins. There's Evans, another one who's recently been re-signed to his team. He's been extended 2 years with SSR, and he repaid them today by putting that car in 36th on the grid. So clearly it's not been a great week for people who've signed new contracts already for next season. But Onjak is going to catch this group very soon. Here he is on Dustin Strew.
Yeah, but
He
now
has a
he's
good
stuck in the
lead.
Traffic.
He has a good lead now, 2.5 seconds, almost 3 over Freeman, but the traffic will be a factor. It'll be a factor for both of these drivers, but now it's all about patience. It's just the two Orange Auto cars. You don't need to fight with each other. It is a long ways back to Clockman 1 and Lexi Herman.
Yeah, my
He's
question is, though,
boxed
for
in.
Herman, if you're Lexi Herman, though, I think your only shot at this here is to clear the 62 as quick as possible, and then just go for it. I don't think Herman can try to fuel save here, or how far back she is.
Especially because you know as well that the top two aren't able to save.
Yeah, because I don't think finishing like 7th or something if you fuel save is going to do you any good. Lexi Herman needs to go out and win these races at this point.
I think as
Lap
well...
cars also need to play nice because Strew is all over the back of the 79.
I'm noticing here, so the 08 came in on lap 39, I want to say, 38?
38 to 39. They crossed the line on pit road for 39.
Okay, so they might be able to go to the end. If we stay green,
Them and the 00 of Bush.
and everyone else pitted earlier than that, so they risk... Oh, we're under yellow.
Oh, we are. Oh, and that's the,
Oh no, it's Clockman
no.
1!
He stopped on track with an issue.
Oh,
Thankfully getting out of harm's way before the leaders get there, but that is a heartbreaking end to what would have been an incredible story, the 62 coming home with a great result again. That'll save a lot of lap cars, but Vargas, I think, will benefit from the free pass, and Onjak's pitting. They said, hey, I can't make it to the end. I might as well top off now. Freeman will follow.
Herman's staying out.
Along with Santiago
It's only the
Brennan.
people that undercut. This is very
Yeah.
interesting.
This is
Have Orange Auto blew it.
They're going to have to come
Oh,
through a
boy.
lot of cars now. That's very
Yeah, this-
I
interesting.
think they were
Very
banking on a lot
interesting.
more people not being able to make it, but that doesn't seem to be the case
And Lexi
because,
Herman's going to be your race leader.
yeah, that is huge.
Wow. But it's Onjak from his teammate. These guys will get waived, but
Wow.
we'll see how this stop goes. If he takes 4 tyres now, I mean, he'll be at tyre advantage to the rest of the field, but that's still a...
Oh, that's fuel only.
It's just
It is.
it's just a splash. It's just the splash they need.
I would take
He's going to have
tires there,
to...
though.
He's going to have to
It's just trying
stop. He's going to have to stop at the
wear
end of pit
tires
road.
I
along with his
I don't
teammate.
think the crews were ready. I think the crews were expecting
Oh my
30 other
goodness,
cars to
this
come down
is-
pit road.
Ooh.
Grigsby.
Grigsby beat him off.
What is... Oh, where's he going to cycle out? What is... Oh, we got more... We got
Onjak has to be fuming in the cars. What are we doing, Roach Rotfield?
Green
Into the
just got hit in
back
the
of
back,
the
yeah,
Lello for
the
no
11.
reason.
All these guys are
Onjak.
trying to organise themselves, and they're not realising how slow it really is coming off of pit road. There's a car around.
Oh my goodness,
Dustin
Dustin
Strew.
Strew, what are we doing?
And he's ruined the
Oh,
race of
boy.
himself and Maverick McCarlton. That's going to sting, as we have some lap cars coming in as well. So it will be Herman who leads, coming back to the
Vargas and
green.
Diaz should get the wave by as well.
Yeah, I think the
That'll help
84 might as
them.
well due to being at the front of the pack.
Yeah, they will be waved, so it will be Herman leading at the front. Well, taken a while, but we've had our first yellow. We are currently on lap 47, so we are well over halfway through. We will restart with about a third of the race to go, but it is Lexi Herman who will lead. So we'll see what happens to clock when one looks like an engine issue, and then we'll get them racked up and we'll send them off again for hopefully just over 25 laps. So we'll be right back from Pikes Peak. Well, here's what's brought out your first caution of the day. Clock 1, turns 3 and 4, and the engine goes bang. And he's already too committed to come down pit road, so he has no choice but to ride it out, coast as far as he can, and he can only get as far as the peak of the D before he has to pull up and stop on track. And you can see the caution lights going. Really lucky that we didn't actually get anyone else hitting him. That could have been disastrous, but luckily the most minor of accidents here to bring out our first caution. And it's shaken up the grid order, so it should be a really interesting restart when we get back going. You are watching the USARC AutoNation Cup Series. Welcome back to Pikes Peak. We're about to get underway from lap 49. Clockman 1 with an engine problem ending his day early, and we still have 41 runners left on track. It's Lexi Herman who leads from Santiago, Brennan, Bennington, Benedict Murdo in 5th. Then it's the 08, the 70, Greenman, Don Falconer and Justin Whitney, your top 10. What they're in 11th as well. Good day for BPM, but can it be even a better day for Lexi Herman, who leads the field to the green?
Very kind of pass back there. I'm not. That might
3
be a
wide.
foul. Oh,
Trying to pass up front.
yeah, Brennan just dives it in there, and that's gonna stick, I think.
Yeah, and I think they knew it. They knew they had to get that move done early because the 53, probably the best driver here at Pikes Peak, and now with the 2 fastest cars mired mid-pack after not having the fuel to go to the end, they wanted the insurance, they pit under the caution. Now it's Lexi Herman's turn to drive away from this field. But Luna Bennington and Cameron Brennan look to say otherwise, with Santiago in tow.
And Bennington went for second. It's not gonna stick though. Well,
Oh, car on the apron. There was contact between Hiccup Bush and Carter Swab, I think.
yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, but
Oh,
look at
Falconer.
trying to go in. That was late. But I think it might actually work out for him here.
It will.
Look at Hiccup Bush. He had that. As Bennington has got second. Santiago trying to go through to third. But Herman has taken off.
Oh no, he's had an issue, RFJ.
Ricky Freeman Jr.
Was he the person that jumped out of line and possibly got black flagged?
I thought it was the 57. I think it was the 57 that jumped out of line. So that might just be a tire issue or something for RFJ.
Something
Yeah.
today has gone from bad to worse for your pole sitter, but 2 wins will probably slip back into a wild card position after being 7th in points coming into today, but 2 wins to rest on. A third would have been nice for sure, but still comfortable for the 41 team, as Herman has indeed checked out a 2.5 already.
Yeah, Bennington got to run the outside, trying to get back the inside. Whoa!
Voiles, that was very uncomfortable to watch.
Greenman, I don't think, wanted to give him that lane, and Voiles just took it anyways. I think Daniel Voiles, what a drive by him today. I think he's had some pretty tough critics this year because of, those rough runs, but today he's had a really nice day.
Hiccup Bush is in the top 10.
Wow.
Yeah, this is an impressive drive by Bush. As Murdo on his own car.
That
Oh my
camera angle
God.
tricks us up here in the booth. We
It
really
does.
think they're going to drive it in a lot deeper than they actually do. It's the turn 1 where we're looking on the backside to them coming in to the corner, where they actually do drive it in sometimes when we don't expect it. As there it is from the 01 actually. Look at that, he's listening to me.
I think if anyone's going to catch Lexi Herman, it's going to be Murdo. He's just charged through. I think he's realised how much speed he's got underneath the hood of that 01 car. But even when he...
Voiles on his
Wow.
own teammate.
What a great day for
Not gonna work.
TGR, by the way.
Yeah, TDR, you know, oh boy, we're going 3-5, we're going everywhere. Everyone's trying to do every move they can.
Warren
Queen is trying to
Voiles,
go around the outside.
he looks a bit uncomfortable in that middle lane. I do not blame him at all. Hiccup Bush is now going to try and get involved as well. And you can see on Jack there, I believe on the edge of the top 20 at the moment. Yeah, he's in 18th on the last lap.
Yeah,
Boxed
boy,
in behind a lot of traffic.
in the middle.
Not the Carter stopped on there at the top 10 as well.
Oh, this is very close. Oh, Falconer up the track, nearly into the 15. Look at this hornet's nest in the middle of the pack here. Cologne's actually made up some ground along with Riley Spurley, which is what they needed.
Yeah, I think they've really benefited from that caution actually here, as it's turned a miserable day into a tolerable one.
Rewind again.
Rewind to 1.
Very close side-by-side racing, 2 and 3 wide. Thankfully, unlike the truck steers, they're able to do it without contact. As Bennington holds it up there in second, we look back at the back of the field. Aiden Smith with some damage. DeLello not really able to make up any ground himself in the 55. McKenzie, big check there as we're 3 wide, the 1457 into 3 of Cologne. And Cologne setting up a big drive into the corner here.
Cologne's trying to just find any track he can. It was on that outside, but now he's up and holding him up.
I think they touched there slightly as well.
How big is Herman's lead?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I'm not sure. Oh boy.
It's not shrinking, and Bennington's holding second.
I really thought it was bigger than that, because we would catch second through fifth on the cameras when we're looking deeper in the field, but we did not see that 3. I thought it was probably up to 4 or 5 seconds, but it's still at 3 as, oh, that's close between teammates.
Yeah, but I think it's going to work out for Santiago here. We can just drive it in there hard enough. Will this Brio try to pinch Santiago down? Not a little bit, yeah. Wimmer there. So good on my Wimmer today, actually. I think Murdo was looking at a move for a second, but thinks better of it.
Yeah, the gap extended again on that lap. I wouldn't be surprised if at this point going to take a caution or something. A bit more of the ways of divine intervention to stop Lexi Herman from doing a double here at Memphis this weekend. So, yeah, I was about to say, I think Murdo's the only one who can possibly stop that on track, but it's fallen back from Bennington. Dive bomb from Lotus Disparito, but they're not going to make that stick.
Burrito does have a lap or 2 on the rest of the field in tires.
Yeah, I was going to say, Herman did hit a little early, though. That's my only worry for Lexi Herman.
And it doesn't matter, because anybody that did pit under the caution cannot make it through the field.
Whoa!
Oh. Cologne almost got in the hiccup bush.
Wise move there by the 00, not force that.
Here comes On Jack, trying to get us about probably 14. As here's, yeah, you get pinch on that bottom side, and there goes Reese Cups. He got one on the outside, he's going to drive it in there.
Going to try and, oh wow, very nice. Very impressive move there from the 14.
He might come away with top 10 still today, but it's definitely going to be a bit disappointing for Peter on Jack. As I'm not sure if the gap is increased at all up front. I can't really imagine.
Has. I wonder what the 41 will do. Will he play nice? His car is fast enough to the point where he's not actually really been too much of a problem for Herman. Still about 2 seconds ahead, albeit a lap down. Oh, and this is looking very feisty.
Oh, look at Cologne forcing the issue.
Oh, there's contact.
Oh, they're rubbing each other.
Up the track.
Oh. They hang on to it right now, though. Here comes On Jack, here comes Schwab, and Cologne's going to dive bomb another one.
And now the desperation's setting in for these drivers. The tires are wearing as well. They know the hopes of a top 10 hinge on these spots, so they're going to have to hit them all just to try and stay in the points fight for some of these drivers. Cologne needs this. On Jack will need this, especially if Herman becomes the third 2-time winner this season.
Yeah, it's looking that way. Herman's extended that gap to 4 seconds over Luna Bennington.
Whoa, that was
Whoa, Cologne drove it in there too deep.
way too deep. Ooh.
Swab, along with Onjack, is going to benefit from that.
These tyres are getting old and it's becoming quite clear, I have to say. But I do fear slightly the way these guys are racing each other. They just don't have the grip they did 30 laps ago, and it's going to cause issues eventually.
Yeah, look at Kopsky way up the racetrack. This is around 20th or so, as there's... Yeah, it's getting pretty dicey here for sure.
This is the
Verstappen
second.
might be heating up as well.
Bennington continues to pull big defensive moves on Benedict Murdo. Murdo has done everything to try and find a way around the 4. He just simply cannot do it.
Gonna try to do this time though, and Bennington's just gonna sail it in there and just deny that. I mean,
The
Bennington
4 has such a handle on the car.
This is about to try to. This is 1 and 2 in points here. Any swing will matter here before this chase. Well, Murdo drove it in there that time.
I do want to take a look at
second, third, and
6.
fourth.
Yeah. We want to take a look at 6, Justin Whitmer. This is the Whitmer we expect to see. He's had an interesting season, to say the least. 4 top 10s, 3 of those being top 3s, but other than that, it has been mired inconsistency for this 18 machine. Up and down the running order constantly, but a good, quiet day is what that 18 team needs, especially. If they can build some of those coming into the chase, he will reestablish himself as a proper threat.
This is not getting any less aggressive.
Ooh,
here.
bumped him.
Oh,
Bumped her up the racetrack. Luna Bennington's going to have to secede the position.
Yep, Murdo got into the back of the 4. Bennington's gonna have to give in.
And the 08's going to try and follow suit.
Yeah, Bennington might try to get a run on the outside and try to dive it in on Murdo, but I don't think it's gonna work.
Nothing there.
Ooh.
6 seconds to lead now for Lexi Herman as we get very close now for P3 as Disparito charging up the inside of the 4.
Yeah,
Really squirrely in the back though.
Laps have
And
really
one last
come
look
down
through the
here.
field.
Not
Yeah,
too
the
much to
haters-
report on at the moment throughout the field. It's mainly in the top 10. Here's Onjack past Falconer. That's going to be for 8th. And I believe that his ceiling here today is going to be 7th. Unless a miracle.
Cameron Brennan.
Oh,
Ooh.
there's Herman on the back.
Oh, they touch.
Respect the blue flags, Freeman.
That
Yeah,
was
Herman kind
For a
Unhappy about
moment.
his day, I'm sure, but that was a little unnecessary. But can Herman get up past 6 seconds, maybe to 7 seconds for their lead, as Onjack will set up Brennan for 7th. Cologne will set up his teammate Falconer for 9th. But is there anything for Murdo in P2? Will Bennington hang on over Disparito? I think that's the battle to watch now. Can Disparito hang on over teammate Santiago now? Whitmer looking to crack the top 5 as well. 3 to go.
Yeah, Bennington's trying to run back down the 01 here. These 3 are going at it, though. Oh, they're all getting loose, though, on corner
Ooh.
exit. Oh, Murdo's had a gap!
And he's not the only one. He's not
They
the
may
only
be able to
one.
make it. Murdo and Santiago
Santiago's out.
both in.
2 to go.
Herman make it.
Eyes on Lexi Herman.
Surely you don't pit coming to the white flag. Surely you don't.
Got to stay out.
There's only 2 miles
Unless
to
you're
go here in the
absolutely certain you're not
300.
making it. And she is staying out.
There's the call. What does everybody do? Still in the top 5.
Let's see. If
Bennington make it.
They're all
Whitmer
staying
make it.
out.
They all seem to do.
Okay.
Onjack could get a top 5 out of this.
All eyes on the
This is
53.
huge. 1 lap to go. Herman still has power.
Disparito still the safest in the top 5. Hearing every noise, hearing the fuel, watching the gauges spike, but I think it's going to be just enough for the Intel Dodge of Lexi Herman to bring this one home.
Here we go now, off of turn 4. Lexi Herman. They are very slow coming to the line, but it's going to pay off strategically. Lexi Herman back to victory lane. He sweeps a weekend at Pikes Peak and wins in the AutoNation Cup Series for the 2nd time in her career. And that was mighty close.
Yeah, you
That
got
was on fumes, barely gonna make it around here.
Raymond ran out of fuel, 77's out of gas. I think Mafayev, not sure who else.
Oh, watch
Oh.
out,
Ooh,
guys.
boy.
Oh, that looked like tempers.
Just jumped Daniel Voiles.
And we've got all sorts
my
happening.
goodness.
That looked interesting for
What?
sure.
Wow. Yeah, that was.
Oh, nice one, guys.
Oh boy. Well, you know who's probably not the happiest in the world? Bandic Murdo, because that
After all
might be
that,
the point
yeah.
right there.
After all that
Drove
work,
through the entire field. Oh, that is heartbreaking.
well, we'll have a run through of our results quickly just to see where he ended up. So Lexi Herman, I mean, once you gave her the opportunity, she seized it like nothing else. Sweep the weekend here at Pikes Peak in Colorado. Wins here today, followed up by Luna Bennington, who I undoubtedly will be taking the championship lead now. Then it's Justin Whitmer, Lotus Disparito, Peter Ondrak recovering to a top 5. That's very important for a driver who at times this season maybe slacked a bit of consistency. But Cameron Brennan in 6th, Don Falconer, a very impressive outing once again for him for Daytona Motorsports in the number 2 car. Then it's his teammate Stephen Cologne in 8th, another top 10 for Stephen Cologne. He struggled very early on, but he's come back through the field and he's got another top 10. So fair play to him. And it's Carter Swab and a great drive for Daniel Vohs coming home with what I believe is his second top 10 of the season with TGR. And then down through the rest of the field, we have Luke Evans recovering to 11th, and it's Tegan Fox, the Truck Series Championship contender. Riley Spurley Tube up to 8th, and then the 44 Bobak Fox, Aiden Smith, Reese Kupski, Blair McKenzie, Joe Zeller, Zachary DeLillo, and Daniel Selshore top 20. Then Roach Rockfield, Awesome Billion, Jacques Rigel, who was kind of nowhere today, comes home in 23rd. 24th, Brian Grigsby. 6th is Chris Martins. 26th, Christian Vargas. Then Borger. Ali Masui with a half decent 28th, ahead of Maston Ribble and Maverick McCulton. Positions up to 30th. Then 79 in 31st place. That's Ramashko. Dustin Strew, Mafayev, I believe the first of the runners who ran out of fuel. Then it's Murdo in 34th, RFJ in 35th, Santiago in 36th. That's going to sting. And then it's Diaz, Greenman, Bush, Steelwolf, and Jeffrey Finguy rounding off your field. So, really interesting race today strategically. It's been very refreshing that we've had a clean one virtually throughout the entire race. What do we make of that? A breath of fresh air that race really felt like.
Yeah, it was definitely a breath of fresh air. I mean, with the chaos of Chicagoland last race, it was definitely really nice to see a pretty clean one here today. With that said, though, still a pretty jumbled up running order by the end of it, just due to strategy, which was interesting. So definitely a cleaner race in terms of cars on track, but in terms of just a calm race, I wouldn't quite call it calm, just due to the strategy calls and people running out of fuel and all sorts of stuff happening.
It was interesting for sure. And what's even going to be interesting, as I'm sure they'll cross your screen at some point, are the point standings. Because while Lexi Herman lands her second win of the season, with Freeman Jr. finishing way down the order as well, he likely loses in that very tight window of points between 7th and 13th. I don't think Herman will have a wild card because I think it will go both of them right now to the other two-time winners in Freeman and Aiden Smith. And I could be wrong about that, but they're up on your screen, so you can fact check me yourself.
Yeah, we'll see what happens on that for sure. I mean, it's going to be interesting here because is Herman even going to be in the top 20 in points either after today? I think she'll definitely close on it a lot. She'll probably cut that gap at minimum in half, but she still has work to do though to catch the 41 to 89 because I don't think they were particularly near that top 20, although Ian Smith might have been. And I don't think, did Smith have a particularly good day here today?
He's going to end up finishing, he was like 15th all day on pace, but
Yeah.
He's 17th in the stand. He was 17th in the standings coming in. Finishes 15th today. Has a pretty big margin to even get into the mixing bowl that is the cutoff. So his
Yeah,
still only still are his 2 top 10s this season were his 2 wins.
It looks like those are going to be extremely vital for him. I mean, Daytona is another wild card for anyone. Maybe a chance at his 3rd win of the season. It would be very impressive. It's probably his best chance heading into the chase to get one final win to really cement himself as that wild card or one of the wild card picks. But overall, I believe that's our last short track race before the chase. We have next up Daytona, then we go to Monterey, and then it's Ontario and Pocono, your final run-in. So one road course, one super speedway, and then 2 extra long speedways, we'll call them. So it's going to be a tough one, I think. It's still too difficult to predict. I think a lot's going to happen between now and Daytona regarding silly season. I wonder if that will play on some of the drivers' mentalities heading into those final 4 races before the chase. It's still all to play for, and I cannot wait.
Well, we'll see what happens these next 4 races here, and it's certainly a very interesting one here today, here from Pikes Peak, and we'll see what happens next time out at Daytona. And until then, thank you for watching, and goodbye.